Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. And this is going to be a crazy one today. But first, I got to cover my ass, no Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show, no filter are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Happy hump day. Diddy's favorite day, hump day. We halfway through the week, y'all. True. What's up? We halfway through the week. 2 more days to go. Hope everybody feeling good. Welcome to the Flow Show, no filter. Join us every day at 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, or you can catch it anytime you want on Apple and Spotify, YouTube. Got a crazy one today, man. Shannon Sharpe, Diddy, Mo Diddy, and Mo Shannon. This sexual assault lawsuits are getting out of control. I don't know who's to blame, but I just know I don't like it. It's just too much, too many. And, you got victims, but in the midst of the victims, you got hidden agendas by different people. So many of my listeners and people who follow me on social media have hit me up with the same vibe of saying, like, at this point, we don't know who to believe, who's bad, who's good, who can we trust. We are just in the crowd watching. And I'm in the crowd with y'all at this point. I don't really know what to say. Well, you know what? One thing I am going to do is tell you what I think and say whatever comes from my heart. Oh, man. So Diddy, let's go. Diddy scored a major win today. He scored a major win this week in court with Cassie. We going to talk a little bit about that. But Shannon Sharpe is dominating the media airwaves right now. So, we got to talk about that. Just sad, y'all. And the Shannon Sharpe situation, I'm going to tell you, you don't even have to get into if you think she's telling the truth or if it's a money grab. That's going to be decided in the courts. But what it is a lesson. You can't, when you play in the mud, my family used to always tell me, if you play in the mud, you're going to get dirty. And it's disappointing to me to see Shannon in this position because he should know better. He's had previous altercations with women that led to restraining orders and all type of stuff. We're going to get into that. And I'm going to play Shannon's statement, and it's just disappointing. Like I said, I'm a big Shannon Sharpe fan. I look up to him, but I hold him in a high regard. And to think that he is texting and going back and forth and arguing with a 19 or 20-year-old when he's almost 60 is just disappointing. And here we are. Diddy, we're going to get into his major win first because, one thing about it, we have been together on this journey of this podcast and of this Diddy trial. So, no, I don't care what comes up. That is kind of the first thing we're going to get out the way. Is the Diddy situation. But the Shannon Sharpe it's really, really, really sad, actually. If he really did rape this woman, it's foul. And even if he didn't, his indiscretions and his bad decisions led to what's going on right now. So we're going to get into that today. Welcome to everybody. Great day to you, Monique. Kingdom said it's crazy. It definitely is. C Tuck says, good morning to everybody in the flowing crew. Make sure y'all like the live and everything. So, and also, Flo's Kitchen is open today, but I'm gonna save it for the end. And I gotta say something about this Aries Spears jerk. I'm trying to be light with my words. Aries Spears just came from my city, Cleveland, and I'm gonna save it for the end because we need to get to the real stuff right now. But Aries Spears, please, y'all share this to him. Anybody, I'm going in on him at the end of this show. He pissed me off. Don't come from my city. Y'all know I love my city, Cleveland. Born and raised. I'm a Cleveland boy at heart. Cleveland. Yeah, the reason why y'all hear me is because of the Cleveland in me. Because a Cleveland person, we don't stop and we real. We don't care about no glitz and glamour. We don't care about none of that. I'm gonna get into that though, but let's start off with this major win that Diddy had before I get into Aries Spears. Fuck, jerk ass. So what's the major win, y'all? We got to talk about it. Diddy secured. I'm gonna take this from MSN. Diddy secures an early look at Cassie's memoir drafts in federal court battle ahead of May trial. So, if you know, Diddy was trying to get her bank statements, Cassie's bank statements, because he felt that they would show she was paid off large sums of money from liquor companies to bring Diddy down. And the judge said no to the bank statements, but he said yes to this memoir. And a lot of people thinking there are some things in this memoir that may help Diddy's case. I don't know. I haven't seen the memoir or heard anything from it, but we're going to dig into this article and see what we find, y'all. So the article goes on. Sean Diddy Combs has been granted access to early drafts of a memoir believed to be authored by singer Cassie Ventura. This is following a recent ruling by Judge Subramanian. Now, y'all, in this memoir, many people believe and are speculating that there are some things in the memoir that will prove that this was a shakedown from Cassie, or that Cassie was just in it for the money. I don't know. I'm just telling you what Diddy's side is saying. And they also believe it would be damaging to her testimony. Let's continue. The ruling, which was part of Diddy's active federal case, orders that the previously submitted unpublished copies be delivered to his attorneys by April 25th, which would be Friday. So they have till Friday to turn over this memoir. Now, this decision is a legal win for Diddy, albeit a small one, but nevertheless, it is a victory. Diddy's former fling, they call her in the article, Cassie Ventura, is said to be a key witness for the government and is expected to take the stand at trial. The rapper has repeatedly denied any abuse of Ventura and also claims everything was consensual. We beg to differ, but that's neither here nor there. Ana Estevao, an attorney for Diddy, you know, he has about 3,000 attorneys. This is another attorney for Diddy, told the court that discrepancies between Ventura's manuscript and statements given to her could be key to attacking her credibility. So what they're looking to depict in here, guys, is they want to look at things that she's told prosecutors or things that she has put in her, in her written statements and stuff like, and so on and so forth. Well, they believe there are discrepancies. They believe that she's saying one thing in the book and a whole nother thing in this case. Are they correct? We shall see. We're getting close to court time. Just breaking it down for y'all. Now, prosecutors have lost on this one. The draft manuscript contradicts Ventura's current statements and is crucial to the defense, said by Diddy's team. Ventura's lawyers and federal prosecutors had previously sought to keep the defense from reviewing the documents. See, prosecutors knew that this could muddy the water a bit. And also, they're also trying to protect the victim because they don't want the victim to get dug into and get humiliated on the stand, because Diddy's defense is going to throw everything and the kitchen sink at Cassie and try to discredit her. That's what defense attorneys do. And so they didn't want this book to come out because now this is just something that they'll be able to dice up and chop up and try to paint narratives, the whole game. Now, the prosecutor's opinion was that granting Diddy access to look at the drafts would be an invasion of privacy and irrelevant to the criminal proceedings. Just like I said, they know the defense is gonna twist the words around and try to make Cassie to look out like a money-hungry liar. And actually, the memoirs don't serve any purpose in this particular case. But at any rate, like I told you before, the defense is going to throw anything and everything at the wall and see what sticks. Actually, so far, nothing has stuck, but they will continue. But despite what the prosecution said, Judge Subramanian found that the defense can have access only to the drafts already in the hands of the government. So nothing outside of no personal drafts or anything like that. The only drafts they can have access to is what was provided to the government. Now, the remaining requests for additional material, including Ventura's diaries, emails, financial records, and notes, were denied. Now, the lawsuit itself has unfolded into full view of the public, especially after surveillance camera footage was released showing Diddy punching Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel. The release of the video earlier this year caused nationwide outrage and led Diddy to make a public statement where he took full responsibility for his actions. And we all know now he's not taking full responsibility. His team is saying the footage was sped up, which made him look like he was more violent, was more violent than he actually was. They even said he looked fat in it because it was an iPhone 6. They said it was chopped up and the timestamps didn't show the sequence of events. And to that I say, if I punched you first and then I kicked you second, but the video shows that I kicked you first and I punched you second, does that mean I'm free? Does that get me off? I'm asking y'all. If I slam you first and then I throw a vase on your head next, but in the video, we show me hitting you with the vase first and then I slam you, does that mean those slams and that violence didn't happen? Or does it mean it was any less harmful because of the sequence of events? I don't know. That's just my common sense talking and saying, I don't think so. Just another thing that they've thrown against the wall that I don't think has stuck. You be the judge. Now, the other looming issue is whether or not the video will be allowed in as evidence. Judge Subramanian has yet to rule on that. I've been watching that like a fucking hawk. And he hasn't ruled on that yet. But his ruling could also exert considerable influence on this trial. I don't know if he's going to rule on it on Friday. I don't know when he's going to rule on it, but I know at some point he will rule on that video, and that is very damaging for Diddy. Great point, Sherry. Sherry says, until DV is better understood and the grave effects it has on the brain, survivors will continue to be abused over and over by the justice system, the police, and their perpetrators. This is a big deal for me. I'm with you, Sherry, on that. The system is broken in a lot of different ways. It's broken for my community. It's broken for women who have been victim of domestic violence. It definitely needs to be fixed. I don't know exactly how to fix it, but I just know it needs to be fixed. It's kind of like a car. I'm not a fucking mechanic, but when it won't start up, I know it needs to be fixed. But do I know how to fix it? Hell no, but I ain't a mechanic. So that's the mechanic's job, and that's the government's job to get this shit together, because I agree wholeheartedly with Sherry. It's a broken system. Let me move on. We have to, but as far as we can't do anything about it. So this is going to be a very hard trial for many of y'all to watch and listen to, or even to cover. I mean, it's you already see where we're going, and I think Sherry knows it and sees that this will get nasty. And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna get nasty because on one hand, Diddy has already proved he doesn't care, and he's fighting for his freedom. Which, if we just being honest, anybody is gonna do anything they can to fight for their freedom, and in doing that, you are going to see victims or alleged victims embarrassed, humiliated, and it's not going to be for the faint of heart. At any rate, like I said, I will definitely continue to keep a close eye on the evidence. I'm waiting on a ruling. I'm waiting on the ruling of, is the video evidence of Cassie being hit and beat on, is that going to be admitted? As soon as I get word on that, I will not only talk about it on the podcast, but if you follow me on social media, I will immediately do a breaking news video on that. Now, to the other man of the hour, Mr. Shannon Sharpe. This is sad. This was avoidable. No matter what actually went on, the courts will decide that. But this could have been easily avoidable. Shannon Sharpe could have avoided this, and the sad thing is, y'all know I get into the backstory. You know, everybody else just talks about what's on the surface and gets clicks and views. Y'all know I take a deep dive and I really look into it, and I like to see the root or the root of a problem, or not even just the root of a problem, but I like to see, were there any warning signs to this particular person before? And before I get into Shannon Sharpe offered the accuser that's accusing him of sexual assault. To give you a little background, Shannon Sharpe, the ex-football player, the big-time podcaster, ESPN First Take star, he is being sued for $50 million for rape of a 20-year-old. He's in his mid-50s. Some of the updates to that are, it is now found out that he offered her $10 million, and she declined, which doesn't look good for him. But not only that, Shannon Sharpe should have learned from a previous incident. Let's take it all the way back to 2010. 10. Um, Shannon Sharpe was working for CBS after he retired. He actually replaced Deion Sanders as a sports analyst. Worked hard to get there. Then he started dating a female, or whatever they want to call it, dating whatever arrangement they had. Her name was Michelle Bundy. And as the old saying goes, it was all good until it wasn't. Michelle Bundy, this new woman that Shannon Sharpe started dating or seeing, or whatever you want to call it, ended up filing for a restraining order against Shannon Sharpe. Now, what was this restraining order? What were the basis of this restraining order? Well, this restraining order claimed threats and also forced intimacies and things of that nature. Needless to say, Shannon Sharpe had to take a leave of absence from CBS and was eventually let go because of this. But the crazy part is, just like this one, well, I'm not going to say just like this one, but the previous one was sketchy. But let's dive into the details before I describe to you how sketchy this previous one was. But the thing is, you put yourself in these positions, you get what you ask for. So let's dive into that. What happened? Well, Shannon Sharpe had to take a leave of absence because of a similar situation that's already happened. This is why I say he should have learned his lesson. He was fortunate enough to have this same exact scenario happen before. And so you can't bump your head on the same wall. So let's think. Well, okay, so it says Shannon Sharpe, former All-Pro tight end, has taken a leave of absence from his job as NFL analyst at CBS after having sexual assault allegations brought against him. Michelle Bundy received a temporary restraining order against Sharpe after filing a petition under the family violence category. Sharpe is alleged to have threatened Bundy's life and forced her to have sex, according to court documents. And then that forced Shannon Sharpe to leave CBS and take a leave of absence. Does this story sound familiar? But that is not where the story ends. You see, not too long after that, friends of Michelle Bundy came out and said she's a flat out liar and she is trying, it's a money grab. This is what her friend said. This is an actual article. So not too long after that, the restraining order was dismissed. And so now let's fast forward up to what's going on now. See, this is why I say I'm not even here to argue about if he did, if he raped, or if he didn't. I'm going to let the courts and I'm going to let more stuff come out to even get into that. But it's so much to unpack before we even get to that part anyway. This is why I say whether he did it or not, he is at fault. And it's very disappointing. I've even heard people say, or people in my comments, only men in my comments say, well, she was legal. I don't see what the big deal is. Actually, one woman said that. She said that she's legal. So I'm confused. But my only reply to them, and nobody has yet to respond to my reply, I said, your daughter at 19, brings home a 56-year-old man. You're not going to say anything? Are you going to be content with the she's legal? I haven't had one person tell me they would be fine with that. But see, one thing that a lot of us have a problem with, and we don't do, and what I'm good at, which helps me do my job, is you got to put yourself in different people's shoes before you talk shit. My Uncle Marv used to call it flipping it. And he taught me that. He said, if you want to totally look at the total picture of a problem or an issue or a story or anything, go from take your version or your perspective and then flip it and put yourself directly in that scenario. Then you will get an honest answer. So let me take a little further. It ain't your daughter. It ain't your sister. It ain't your nothing. So it's easy to sit back and don't even put too much thought in and say, hey, she's legal. I don't know what the big deal is. But the moment you put yourself in her father's shoes or her mother's shoes or her brother's shoes, and you say, your sister, your daughter comes home, she's 19, she's 1 year removed from high school, and she brings home a 56-year-old man. What person in this fucking world is not going to say something about that? Speak loud. And see, the reason why nobody answered that question when I asked them that, they just kind of floated off into the universe. Because if you follow me on social media, you know I'm good at going in them comments and giving you some truth. And most of the time they run because I put you in a corner. Now you have to say, oh yeah, I would be good with that. But nobody wants to say that out loud. So kill the she's legal, because we're not talking about legal, illegal age limits right here. We're talking about bad decisions, horrible decisions. And so here we are. And I'm going to be flat honest. I'm not feeling Tony Busby. I wish victims going forward would find somebody else. Tony Busby has a whole mess he needs to clean up. It's been proven. And you know, I actually was impressed early on when he did the Deshaun Watson thing with Busby, because he made a believer out of me. But ever since then, the courts, I'm not talking about Jay-Z. I'm not talking about this is not my opinion. This is nobody's opinion. This is the courts. The courts have said he has been rushing to judgment. He has not vetted his clients good. He is operating in cases that he was not licensed for. This is all the court. This is not opinion. And so I'm hoping that going forward, victims or alleged victims will find another attorney, because whether she is being honest or not, the fact that Tony Busby is handling it is damaging her case. That is the one saving grace that Shannon Sharpe has right now. People are not taking anything Tony Busby brings seriously right now. But that's not even the point. The point is, even with Shannon, and I'm giving Shannon Sharpe some tough love and some straightforward talk, because he's good at doing it on his show. He's good at telling everybody what the fuck to do and not to do, and how you shouldn't handle this and how you should handle that and all that shit. He's good at that. So sometimes now you got to sit your ass down, Shannon Sharpe, and open up your fucking ears so you can learn something. Because I don't even like Shannon Sharpe's response to these allegations. He's responding like a man who still hasn't learned his lesson. and still doesn't realize what role you played in there. You talk he and I'm gonna play the clip. He called it a shakedown, but their shakedown doesn't exist if you do what a 56-year-old successful man should be doing. And if you're not doing it, you should at least be acknowledging the fact that, hey, I need to be somebody's husband, riding off into the sunset and staying out of 20-year-old worlds, arguing with them and sexting and threatening. And then now we got to decipher, did you say when you said you were going to, I'm going to get into it. Let me play the clips before I get too far ahead of myself. Let me play the clips and then we will take it from there. This is just it's just crazy. But yeah, let me play these clips, guys, and then we'll get to the meat of this.
Like, I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
I don't know. Mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, go to the next clip. So basically, he's saying they're talking on the phone, and he's saying that she's saying that he's just gonna hang up on her. She's claiming he's been manipulative, and there is even a text message of her saying, and this could all be, like I said, this could be true, or this could be all a setup. I don't know, but the problem is a problem. Whether I don't even need to get into that. The problem is, why are you on the phone and saying this type of stuff and even engaging in this type of dialogue when you damn near 60 and this person is 20 or 19 or 20? It's even text messages of her saying she's crying or whatever. And like I said, I'm not here to say if it's true or not because I don't know and I'm letting stuff come out. But the thing is, it doesn't matter because he should know better. This is correct. Even to hear him actually talking, she sounds like a 19-year-old. She's saying the type of things that 19-year-olds say, and she sounds so young. And then you got this grandpa. Like, come on, Shannon. They got text messages saying that she asked them to put a condom on, and he didn't, and then he put it in her backside and this and that. And it's just like some people saying, hey, this sounds like a setup. It sounds like she orchestrated this, but then at the same time, I'm still looking at Shannon like, even if this was orchestrated, you were a willing participant in this crap. And as somebody who really looks at Shannon as a hard worker, a guy with some knowledge, and he was a podcast, and I was watching Club Shay Shay. You know, Club Shay Shay, a lot of people don't even know it's been out for about 3-4 years, pretty much. I've been watching it since the first episode. So I'm disappointed. See, I don't have to, it ain't even about, is this set up, or is it? I'm disappointed that he's even put himself and allowed himself to be in this position. He put a statement out. I'm gonna play his statement as well. And you tell me what y'all think.
I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shade down. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets.
Now I'm gonna stop right there. That's another thing. Shannon, why are you bringing up Jay-Z? And y'all know I'm not a Jay-Z defender. I was a fan. I like Jay-Z's music, but this is just the facts. You, Shannon, are in a nasty, trifling allegations. You got some trifling allegations going on. You are, the news is everywhere. And your statement in your first 10 seconds, you name dropping Jay-Z? You bringing another man into your mess? Jay-Z, whether you like him or don't like him, he didn't offer a dime, and he handled his with Tony Busby right through the courts. If you're a fair person, you got to look at it and say, hey, he handled it through the courts, and until we hear anything else, Jay-Z's out of the woods for now. But I still think it just says something. I don't know, like, you don't put nobody else's name in no crap like this and use them to make your case look stronger because Jay-Z was dismissed, and now you kind of want to, Shannon, you kind of want to place your case and kind of make it in line with Jay-Z's. I know the manipulation tactics, and I don't like it. And anybody who's offended or mad, hey, watch Nightcap. Watch Shannon Sharpe. Watch what he said about Deshaun Watson and how he went in about Deshaun Watson. He was probably the meanest person about Deshaun Watson. He was caught up in some massage freakiness allegations, and Busby took him down. For those that don't know, Deshaun Watson, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, not no more though, but Shannon Sharpe goes off on everybody when he feels like he wants to kick some knowledge. So now it's his turn to listen. So I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. I've been watching Club Shay Shay since 4 years ago. I'm a real fan, but y'all know me. I give real talk. And I'm going to give it to you straight. I don't care if it's somebody I'm a fan of or not, because I'm really disappointed. I'm going to let this clip continue, but I just had to stop it right there. Like, I didn't even like that. Don't bring anybody else's name into this. Handle your shit, Shannon.
He's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tried to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Now, let me tell you another thing. And I'm just telling you the missteps that along this way that Shannon Sharpe has made, in my opinion. Another thing. She was a Jane Doe. He immediately put her name out. That's his business. This is his case to fight. I'm just giving my opinion. That don't look good. Putting out her text messages, and I'm talking about, it might give you a little it might help you in a public opinion court, the court of public opinion. It might help you there. But in the real courts, when you're dealing with lawyers and the judge and this and that, I'm telling y'all, I cover these cases. This is all I do. So I see cases and I see the fundamentals that usually work out well for defendants. And then I see certain tactics that never work out well. And so if you notice, there was a lot of controversy about Jay-Z. He knew about who because his accuser was a Jane Doe. And there's a lot of speculation. Did Jay-Z find out, early on about her name and this and that? But let me give you another difference, Shannon Sharpe, since you brought up Jay-Z's name. He didn't publicly put her name out. That just don't look good. And it didn't do anything for Shannon's case. It didn't do anything but let us at least know who he's talking about, and now everybody can harass her or whatever. And that just wasn't a smart move, in my opinion. And like I said, it's getting ugly, and it's going to get uglier. There are text messages being dropped every day that's saying different things. None of them are good in Shannon's case. Now, also another thing that didn't look good. He offered her $10 million. This was said by Shannon Sharpe's actual attorney. This isn't speculation. It's always speculation until we get confirmation. And we got confirmation from Shannon's lawyer that he offered her $10 million and she declined it. That doesn't look good either. That doesn't look good either. Now, I'm going to give you both scenarios of why he would offer $10 million and why and she declined it. But I'm going to give you two scenarios that why he would offer $10 million, because the easy answer is he offered her $10 million because he's guilty. That could be the case. But there also, he could have been offered her $10 million because she knew that they did freaky stuff, and she laid back and said, okay, this time, we're into choking. And if you see the text message that even he exposed, this is why I'm saying Shannon Sharpe did himself no favors by putting out those text messages. Because in those text messages, we know from Shannon's own evidence that they are into kinky, freaky, corn hub stuff. And so, choking, whatever, with all that, right? So she could have said, okay, I'm gonna record this particular session. And when he get into that choking, disrespectful mode and doing this and that, I got him dead to rights. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just giving you both scenarios. And the reason, follow me, the reason I'm giving you both scenarios is this. Whether he is guilty or innocent don't even fucking matter. That's why I'm giving you both scenarios. Because the bottom line is your ass shouldn't have been there, Shannon. That's my point. Because you're looking at trouble regardless. You got to hang with your peers. You got to grow up, bro. And you got to look in the mirror. Why am I almost 60, got everything in the world, hundreds of millions or whatever, and I'm arguing back and forth with somebody's 20-year-old daughter and doing all this and violating her or anyway, even if she's a willing participant? The fact that you don't feel bad about that That's a problem. And I don't give a fuck anybody who thinks, oh man, why you saying that? You tearing them down. She was legal. I already discussed the legal part. This ain't about she legal at 18. So 18 and 60-year-old, you good with that? They come home to your house. So, like I said, I can say this shit. I've been watching Shannon Sharpe since the fucking 1990 when he played tight end for the Denver Broncos. I was a little kid. So I've been following and have been into Shannon Sharpe's career path since 1990. I was watching Club Shay Shay 3 years before Cat Williams' interview. 90% of the world know about Club Shay Shay, didn't even know about him until then. So I'm not a hater. I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm actually been upfront and honest that I have been a Shannon Sharpe fan. I was a fan of him as a football player. I was a fan of him as a CBS analyst. I was a fan of him on ESPN, and I was a fan of Club Shay Shay. So I'm just here saying the shit that he needs to hear. Ain't no shakedown if you ain't there. And you got to pardon me, y'all. This is hard. This has got my head all fucked up for a lot of different reasons. And as this week progresses, I'm sure more shit gonna come out today. And I guarantee you one thing: I've already stayed out of the way and stayed away from harmful situations. But this is just a reminder. He just signed over the weekend. What was it? Friday. News had broke that he had $100 million contract on the table for his podcast, both his podcasts, Nightcap and Club Shay Shay. I don't think that's going to happen now. Also, Stephen A. Smith, the executive producer, the star of ESPN. Matter of fact, Stephen A. Smith just signed a $100 million contract. He just spoke. He said he's disappointed in so many words because if you know, when Fox, y'all remember Shannon Sharpe was on, what is that? Undisputed with Skip Bayless. It's confusing. They say he left on his own, and then they say they fired him. Whatever, he had to move on. And Stephen A. Smith scooped up Shannon Sharpe when nobody wanted to fuck with him. Like I always say on this podcast, one thing you're going to get on this podcast, you're going to get the real story because I've been following these people like a hawk anyway. So I know every single detail. I was there. I watched this. I watched sports. I told y'all I just do this podcast, but I'm an avid sports fan. And so let me give you the history of that. Stephen A. Smith scooped up Shannon Sharpe when nobody wanted to touch him. They were trying to blackball him. Stephen A. Smith stuck his neck out, scooped up Shannon Sharpe, and brought him on ESPN, and everything was good. Until it wasn't. And now Stephen A. Smith is like, I brought him on, and now look. And not saying it like he didn't throw him under the bus, but he spoke honestly on his podcast. And Stephen A. Smith said he spoke to the bosses. Because Stephen A. Smith said, I'm the executive producer, but I ain't the boss. He said he spoke with the bosses at ESPN. And ESPN is saying that they are looking into this case and they are taking it very seriously. Don't be surprised if Shannon is let go from ESPN behind this. And I'm going to say it again. whether he's guilty of rape or not. Guilty or not guilty is only important in the court. But when it comes to your job, your brands, a company you work for, their bar isn't guilty or not guilty on rape. Their bar is, can I trust this person's decisions? And just like me, I work my ass off to build the Flow Show No Filter, and I'm not going to let one person tear my brand up because I worked hard to build it. Same thing goes for ESPN. They're not going to be get mud thrown on them because Shannon Sharpe is making 20-year-old decisions. This is going to get ugly. Yesterday, I already told y'all, I love the fact that my podcast is pretty much the first one in the morning because I get to say what I say. I get to give y'all my take. And I don't know if y'all watch everybody else, but if you watch throughout the day, you'll hear so many different bloggers and podcasters and YouTube echo exactly what I'm saying. Now, I'm like, either I'm dead on every time or these people watching the Flow Show No Filter, these other YouTubers, podcasters, and bloggers. Because I purposely listen to people and see and definitely come in think with my own take. I come in with my own take, with my own mind. I don't say nothing besides the actual facts. But as far as my opinions, I don't take my opinions from anybody else. But definitely see my opinions float around after the Flow Show No Filter airs in the morning. And I don't mind it. But I'm also going to call it like it is. So, Shannon Sharpe, this could be a shakedown. But it's a shakedown that you shouldn't be a part of. You should have never been a part of this. So as more and more evidence comes out, I will continue to cover and watch this closely. But if you offered $10 million and she declined it, whether you believe or don't believe she did it or not, that's a hell of a amount of money to turn down if you don't have any evidence. And like I said, the evidence can be tricky when you into that freakiness and it's not with your wife. You getting freaky with people off OnlyFans. What the hell do you expect? And I'm not speaking to the young lady. I'm speaking to the decisions that Shannon's making as a man who has put himself in position to have his pick of whoever. For the life of me, I'm not a centimeter. I'm not a smidget close to as big as Shannon Sharpe. But I do have major platforms and I am known. There is no freaking way that I'm going to be going back and forth and texting and doing all this stuff and nasty and this and that at 50 something, 60 with no 20, 19-year-old. Like, I just can't believe he didn't know that was dangerous for many reasons, even outside of the actual rape part of it. I don't understand how a 56-year-old man texting and arguing and whatever they were doing with a 20-year-old. I don't understand how he didn't think that would go bad. Y'all help me with that. Send me some messages. Give me some, because I think more of y'all can reach out to me. I don't know if y'all know how accessible I am, but the people who do DM me, you can DM me your thoughts. You can DM me. I like to hear them. Because I swear to God, some of these cases make me feel like I'm a fucking alien. Because it just don't make no sense to me. I would be scared out of my mind to be texting and sexting and talking about choking a 2019-year-old. Like I would be scared to do. I would know, like, oh, this is bad. Like this could go wrong. Laura said he's not thinking with his brain. Yeah, he's not. And one thing I can say about this, I don't want to hear that tearing down nobody's shit on this one, because see, one thing I have by having 500,000 followers and covering this shit every day, I get to talk to a lot of different people in my DMs and in my comments. I get to see a lot of opinions. And for the most part, I don't care if you black, white, green, purple, man, woman. For the most part, everybody is behind Shannon. But when I say behind, meaning everybody's still waiting for stuff to come out. Nobody is, we know anything is possible. He could have done this. We weren't there. But most of us think that Shannon would know better. But I'm telling you, no matter what demographic, people are giving Shannon his fair shake. They're not just bashing him and running with the story. It's a lot of people that are like me that are just disappointed and wondering how, like, why, how? And I'm going to tell you another thing. Whether he did it or not, this is going to damage his brand, because a big part of Shannon's brand is telling motherfuckers what they should be doing and not doing, and saying what he does. I mean, he even went so far as to say, when Deshaun Watson got in that problem, he said, yeah, I'm very careful. If I see a lady on the elevator, if I'm on the elevator and another woman gets on the elevator, I get off to make sure, because I don't know. Now that sounds like bullshit, Shannon. And I love you. But that's bullshit. That sounds like bullshit. One hand, you telling us on YouTube, on your show, that you're so careful with females because of everything that's going on, that if you're on the elevator and a female gets on the elevator, whether that's your stop or not, you get off. So if you that careful, how the fuck did you get caught up in this then? Is my question. And so my only point is, I'm going to say it again, whether he's guilty or not, this has damaged his brand and his name in a way that is forever. This stain will be forever because he is on his high horse. I ain't the only one be feeling bad for Ocho on the show. And then for those that don't watch the show, let me give you a little context, because one thing about me, y'all know I break shit down. And sometimes when I first started, like on content, not on podcasts, people would be upset with me because I explained everything. And they'd be like, we know this, we know that, but they don't know. That's why my videos are getting 1 million views, because I explain everything as if nobody knows anything. That's the secret, y'all out there. To anybody out there that want to make content, media content, and podcasts, don't be worried about the few people that know every fucking thing. Every time you post something, explain it like nobody knows. They don't know shit about what you're talking about. So, Ocho is also a former football player and a wide receiver, played for the Bengals. He is on the show Nightcap with Shannon Sharpe. And a lot of times, Shannon Sharpe, the role is they play like he's like the big brother, Shannon, and he's always dogging and ridiculing Ocho in front of everybody about being late, and if he's late for a show, and then he talks about how how I handle. I'm never like, I do this, I do that. Every scenario, it's been so bad that people be in the comments like, damn, leave Ocho alone. Well, now what, Shannon? You can't say shit to Ocho no more. You got to get this in order. We got to figure out, Do you like, can you talk to a 40-year-old or 50-year-old or shit, even a 30-year-old? We don't want to hear no more advice, bro. We don't want to hear it. This is a brother talking to you. This is somebody saying something that you need to hear. I'm not clout chasing. I'm not a hater. I've said it over and over again. I've told you how I feel about Shannon Sharpe. But this is why everybody needs a flow. Everybody needs a flow in their corner. Because I got a flow in my corner. It's my best friend, Darnell. See, the thing about real friends, we going to call you out and tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And people who can't handle the truth take that as you're mean or you're this or you're that. No, that's love. Because see, what I'm saying to Shannon Sharpe right now, if I was in this scenario, this is what my boy Darnell would be telling me. He wouldn't be holding back shit. And you need that. You need to hear it. You don't need everybody coddling you and saying, Shannon, yeah, this is shakedown and she's just a money grab. She's just looking for money. That's what you want to hear, Shannon. But what you need to hear is that your ass had no business there in the first place. Because if your daughter was 19, Shannon, I'm talking to you and only you. If your daughter was 19, because you have daughters, Shannon, if your daughter was 19 and she brought home a 60-year-old man, 56, 57-year-old man, you would lose your shit. So take that and apply it to yourself. Put the mirror up. Like my boy Darnell just chimed in. Iron sharpens iron. And you always need people to hold you accountable. So I'll take the heat. Because guess what? I'm going to say shit that we need to hear. I'll let the rest of the peanut gallery, bubblegum media, bloggers that's scared to really say the real shit, I'll let them handle the he's a money grab, Shannon, and she's only out for money and this is what they do. No. How you gonna just skip over the fact that they 40 years difference and she's just a year out of high school? So I'm gonna say that shit. I'll let the rest of everybody else, all the other bloggers and YouTube, I'll let them take that angle because that's the easy angle. But that's the angle that, and that's the reason why Shannon is right here in this position right now, because he don't have somebody like me in his corner calling that shit out and saying, bruh, grow the fuck up, man. You sound like a spoiled child talking about this is a shakedown when we talking about a 19-year-old on OnlyFans. 19, 20-year-old, you still figuring out what the hell going on. What the hell was all of us doing at 19 and 20? You still trying to figure out who the hell you are. And I'm a man. I don't know what goes on in a 19 or 20-year-old woman, but I know she ain't fully matured yet to be handling and dealing with 60-year-old man. And so I just had to give some real talk to a fellow podcaster, somebody who people will hit me up all the time and be like, man, you're going to have a podcast. One day you're going to have a podcast bigger than Shannon Sharpe. This is just what a lot of people would say to me. They would just put me in a Shannon Sharpe podcast type of lane. I don't know why. But before I even started a podcast, when I was just doing my content, making my content and covering stories, so many people would say that. And so, you know, I wouldn't say Shannon is the reason I started a podcast, but the success that Shannon Sharpe had on his podcast showed me the possibility and what type of success I could have with my own podcast. So this is genuine talk. This ain't no hater. This is not about hate. This ain't about tearing nobody down. This is actually about giving somebody some advice that they need to hear that nobody else is saying. Because everybody else have agendas. I don't have an agenda. My only thing my only responsibility when I turn this fucking mic on is to give y'all the truth. I talk to y'all like I talk to my best friend. People left a lot of comments yesterday and said, thanks for sharing the story that happened to me at 7 years old. A lot of people felt inspired by that. I told them, y'all have become like my family. I ain't gonna say like my family. Y'all have become my family. So sharing every thought that's inside of my head is my pleasure. It's therapeutic for me. And I will always do it. Y'all are outside of my real family, my podcast and my Facebook, all of my family, that y'all are so supportive, and y'all give me the strength and y'all give me the comfortability to give y'all and tell y'all my honest opinion on shit. And this is my totally honest opinion on Shannon Sharpe and this whole situation. And my opinion ain't gonna be like everybody else's opinion, because they got to take that middle road. It's hard to do what I do, because then you got to have all the little Mohawk Diddies attacking you and mad because you're saying the shit that people need to hear. And speaking of that, before I get to this Aries Spears, before I cook his ass, before I get out of here, you know I got to do what we always do. And what we do here is we thank the people that make this possible. We thank the people that make this podcast what it is, and allow me to say exactly what we want to talk about, what we want to talk about, and deal with stories that actually mean something. Because out of these stories, there are lessons learned. There are young ladies that can learn lessons from whatever this 20-year-old woman is going through, or whether this is real or it's not real. The text messages are real. The overall engaged, the fact that Shannon and her were engaged in whatever that's real. We just don't know how far it went. But there's lessons to be learned for the 19-year-old girls out there. You don't have to play yourself for money. I'm telling you right now, 19-year-old, you feel like you feel like you're older, and but you got a lot of life left. Don't be in a rush. Don't just do shit for money, whether it's sex, whether it's whatever it is. I'm just saying, I wish somebody would have told me at 19, bro, you got a long way to go. Slow. You don't have to rush and just do whatever. 19, you still got plenty of time. One thing me and my best friend talk about that we do different with our children, that was different for us, but we came up in a different time, and I'm sure all of y'all can relate to this. When we grew up, when you were 18, you either had to take your ass to college, get a job, get your own place. Your ass had to be grown immediately. Go make money, take care of yourself. This is the household we came from. Me and Darnell grew up together, best of friends, from 4 years old up to high school, 12th grade. I didn't see him for another 5-6 years, because at 18, mama said they got to take their ass to the Navy, him and his twin brother. We had plans of going to the same college. We went to the same school, high school and elementary school, Woodbury or whatever. And we had plans of going to college together and all that. Next thing we know, they were going to the Navy. Mama said, y'all got to grow up now. This is the era we came from. But now that we are in different positions in life, and we are a little more comfortable than our parents were, we take the opposite approach. Take your time with your children. don't just because they turn 18, that's some legal that's some shit they put in the laws. And when you 18, you're an adult and you're this and that. Give your child time. They don't have to, as soon as they turn 18, they don't have to be turned 40. And that's what we are doing different with our children than the previous generation. And like I said, I don't blame the previous generation. That was a different time and a different era. And we were just starting to make our way in this world as far as our culture and our people. But now I want my son to continue to work. I want him to continue to pursue his happiness as far as what he might want to be in this world. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to rush him. And so all the children out there, 18, 19, 20, you got a long way to go. Don't rush. Don't get frustrated. Don't look at this person or that person and feel like you should be here, you should be there, because that is what causes us to do certain things for money that we wouldn't normally do. And like I said, I was rushing. From the time I was 19 to 25, 24, I felt like I was rushing. I was trying to be everything that I wanted to be all at once. And it's not a good recipe. So again, like I said, that's something me and my friend talk about. Is like, we take our time. We're not rushing our child. When they turn 18, we're going to make sure that they're responsible. We're going to make sure that they're working or make sure they're working towards something. But we're not going to expect you to be grown, because it just puts too much pressure, especially in today's world. It just puts too much pressure on our children. And I don't think it's a good thing. And it's a lesson and on Shannon's side, it's a lesson for a successful man or even just man in general. You can't, you at some point you got to grow up, and life has structure for a reason. We promote you to have a wife and get a wife and a kid and this and that, and it's all about this. It's a reason. It adds structure to your life. And so if you're going to be 50 and 60 running around still chasing and doing what you were doing when you were 20, you're going to find yourself in some hot water. I was telling Darnell the other day, look at Diddy. Never been married, or no marriage we know about. Look at Shannon Sharpe. Successful and old and single, and still running around doing what the single people do and what the young people do. They're finding themselves. You should already have found yourself by 55, 56. So you should be in a whole nother frequency. So I don't want to get too long-winded, but I'm not getting out of here without cooking Aries Spears. Can I say bitch ass without y'all getting too offended? I can't stand Aries Spears. And I never liked him, but I really didn't like him when he did that pedophile skit with Tiffany Haddish, where he had a kid that didn't have their clothes on. It was supposed to be a comedy skit. I don't know. Maybe the kid had underwear. I don't know. But they kind of blurred it out. So I'm not sure. But he was peeking through a newspaper and they playing R. Kelly. My mind's telling me no. And he's looking at him like a creep. So I'm just giving you some context on this Aries Spears. He's supposed to be a comedian. I put that in quotes. Comedian. He's not fucking funny. So he goes to Cleveland. He was in Cleveland and did a show, and nobody laughed. See, in Cleveland, we not just laughing just to laugh. You got to be funny. But instead of him just realizing you're not funny, Aries Spears, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle looking ass, Timbaland and Magoo looking ass, goes on some newspaper talking about, I don't want to, what does he say? Oh, Aries Spears says, I'm officially retiring from doing stand-up in Cleveland. That city is America's toilet bowl. I hate Cleveland with a passion. They just don't seem Sharpe and they seem miserable. Well, Aries Spears, do I not seem sharp? Do I seem miserable? I'm happy as hell. You're just not funny. And Cleveland is one of the realest places you could ever go to. Laughing is involuntary, motherfucker. If we not laughing, it's because you ain't funny. The fuck? You want us just to laugh because you just forcing to laugh? I never thought he was funny. I don't like that fucking glued on that I think that New York Yankees hat is glued on too fucking tight to his head. I don't know if it ever comes off. But I hate people who try to make it like, how you gonna be mad at us because we ain't laugh at your unfunny ass shit? And the funny thing is, you know me, when I cook somebody, I twice bake them. You ever had twice baked potatoes? You cook them and then you cook them again. That's what I do when Flo's Kitchen open up. And it's open right now. I ain't gonna spend too much time, but I had to let Aries Spears know I don't play about my city. So I did a little digging. Not only did he did the PDF file, and for y'all don't know, PDF file is short for PETA, you know. So we're going to say PDF file. So you do a PDF file skit with Tiffany Haddish, and you want to call us a toilet bowl? Well, I did a little digging. I seen another, something else he said a few years back. Aries Spears says the South is too slow for his comedy. So he doesn't want to do comedy in the South because his comedic stuff is too intellectual for the South people. So, Aries, my question is, you running out of places, bro. Midwest, Cleveland don't find you funny. You mad at us. You got some other article talking about the down south people too slow to get your comedy, and you don't like playing there. At some point, you're the common denominator, bro. You're not funny at all. You've never made me laugh. You did some strange Hollywood stuff to get your little wave for, I think, Saturday Night Live or something. That shit was given to him. And when that shit was over, that's why he faded into oblivion, because he's not funny. And if I ever seen him in person, I would tell him to his face. I hope I see him. I do not like when people come for my city for no reason. If you got a reason, come for my city. If we did something, talk shit. I would never be mad at somebody talking shit. But for a comedian to be in his fucking feelings because people ain't laughing at your jokes, that's weak, man. I'm going to tell you a story before I get out of here to tell you how Cleveland get it in and to show you the difference between comedy. Because let me tell you something. David Chappelle, he loved Cleveland. We laugh at him. He come to Cleveland all the time. But guess what? He's funny. And I hate to break the news to you, Aries. Mr. Creepy. But one of the main criteria to being a comedian is to be funny. And funny ain't forced. When we laugh, we don't plan to laugh. It just comes out. But I'm going to tell you a story about my city, Cleveland. We the realest out there. Tommy Davidson. Back in the day, I went to a Tommy Davidson comedy show. Y'all remember Tommy Davidson from In Living Color and all those different things? Well, Tommy Davidson was doing his thing, his opening monologue, whatever. And about 10 minutes in, there was some big dude in the front row with he had a big fur chinchilla on, big hat. You know, Cleveland, one thing about Cleveland, we go to a comedy show, we gonna put some shit on that it might make you sneeze. So much fur and stuff coming out. We come to show stop. So anyway, about 15 minutes into the act, Tommy Davidson doing his thing, man. That dude in the front row said, man, say some new shit This that same old shit you say all the time, man. Man, and I'm talking about just that loud. It was like everybody got quiet, even Tommy. And he said that. I was like, damn. Tommy Davidson said, okay, you want something new? So guess what Tommy Davidson doing? And it's a real comedian. Tommy Davidson went to the crowd, asked the dude to give him that big, whatever that big ass chinchilla fur coat he had on and the hat. And Tommy Davidson went up on stage and did a little skit of being some type of pimp with that stuff on, had us all rolling, gave the man his stuff back, and it was a great show. That's a real comedian. Not nobody taking a ball and going home and crying to the newspaper and dogging people for not laughing at your unfunny shit. So when I read that headline, the first part I read was, I'm officially retiring from doing stand-up. And I got happy because I saw Aries Spears' picture and I saw it say, I'm officially retiring from doing stand-up. But then it said, in Cleveland. I said, this old I'm funnier than you, and I ain't no comedian. I don't even try to be funny. But I'm funnier than Aries Spears. I guarantee you that. So I appreciate y'all listening to me because I had to cook his ass. Don't come for my city. And that go for anybody. Like I said, if you want to talk shit, you can. Like, it's reasons. It's a lot of things you can say about Cleveland. You can talk about our sorry ass Browns and how they lose. You can talk about how nasty Lake Erie is. I mean, or whatever. But you're not about to come for us because we didn't laugh at your sorry ass jokes. And I'm going to leave it right there, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all my family, as always. We always have a good time every day at 7:30 a.m. Shout out to the breakfast crew. And shout out to everybody on Apple and Spotify. But before I get out of here, y'all know I can't get out of here without thanking the people that make this possible. And we talking about our subscribers and our shoppers. Without them, we don't have a show. Without them, I got to come on here and talk about the Browns every day or the Cavs, something more lighthearted so I could get money from these sponsors that's trying to give it to me. But I know if they give it to me, I ain't going to be able to talk like I'm talking now. So because of that, I ask you guys to subscribe so we can make this our podcast and we can give a middle finger to the big corporations. And y'all have responded. So right now, I want to thank, first, I want to do the subscriber of the day, then the shopper of the day. So, subscriber of the day. Drum roll, please. Subscriber of the day is Emily. Just Emily. She didn't put her last name. Emily. Everybody clap it up for Emily in the comments. Everybody clap it up for Emily. I appreciate you, Emily. Much love. If you want your shout out and if you want to support this podcast and don't want to click this on one day, if you click this on and you hear me start talking about the Browns, that's because I ain't get enough subscribers and I had to go to the sports podcast because I got to eat. And my son, he about big as me now, probably bigger than me now, and I got to feed him. So we got two choices. Either we go out to subscribe and I need more subscribers, or y'all going to have to hear about the Browns. So anyway, thank you, Emily, for understanding. We trying to keep truth alive and subscribing and not just sitting back watching me put my life on the line and call out everybody in the industry for free because that don't feel good. I'm like, y'all know y'all got to value my life and value me a little more than just listening to me for 2 hours and not subscribing. The minimum is $3. $3 subscription. Go to Buzzsprout. It's in the description. The link in your if you're listening to it on your phone, it's in the description box. It's the Buzzsprout link. Or if you're watching it on YouTube, it's in the caption little thingy. And people have asked me, it's different ways you can subscribe. Find it, please. I appreciate it. And I don't want to have to turn this into no sports podcast so I can eat a meal. So I appreciate everybody who has subscribed already. And I'm going to thank in advance those who will understand the importance of subscribing and enjoy the content and enjoy what I bring and are going to subscribe. Let's see. Somebody said, I always find myself nodding my head and talking like you we're sitting here. And here I sit again, raising hell to keep bringing it. Tracy Anderson. Thank you, Tracy Anderson. And I'm going to add to that, Tracy. From the time I made my content, my whole goal is to talk to y'all like I talk to my best friend or like I talk to my closest family members. Because I feel like it's real, it's intimate, and I think that's the best type of content to me. So to hear people like Tracy say that, it feels good because that is my goal. I want each and every one of y'all listening to feel like I'm talking straight to you. That has been my goal from the beginning, which is why I do this the way I do it. I told my friend, I tell everybody, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I want this. When I make content, I want to make it like you on FaceTime with me. I want to make my content like we're on the phone and I'm just dominating the conversation. You know, I want to just look at me as the person that you talk to. We on the phone. I'm just that person that won't shut up. That's how my podcast is set up. It's a two-way conversation. I just can't hear what y'all saying. And I won't shut up. So thank you, Tracy. That compliment and that observation that you made means more to me than you probably even know. And thank you for everybody. Y'all all are amazing. And I don't want to leave out the people who haven't subscribed or maybe aren't in the position to subscribe, because I always shout y'all too, because everybody who shares my content, everybody who tells people about it, y'all all play a part. And don't ever think I don't appreciate every little bit that y'all give me. And without further ado, let me go to my shopper and shout out today's shopper of the day. And all the orders have been out. If you placed the order this week, I'm getting it out. Matter of fact, the orders that came in last night will be out today. I'll get them out today. So we've been moving full speed ahead on with the andidon'tLikeIt.com. Go get the hottest item right now before they go up, before they sell out. The And I Don't Like It t-shirt. People are buying those like every single day. And I'm glad, and I'm just glad people love the whole And I Don't Like It movement. I didn't know another thing that I had no clue would ever become as big as it is. But like I say, I owe that to y'all. And so go to andidon'tLikeIt.com, grab you a t-shirt, a hoodie, a coffee mug, grab you some Flow Show No Filter gear. It's all on there. But right now, let me thank today's shopper of the day, Tina Humphrey. Tina Humphrey, everybody clap it up for Tina Humphrey. See, when y'all support the podcast, I don't have to give a fuck what none of the celebrities think. I don't have to give a fuck what none of these big corporations think. We can sit here at our kitchen table. I call this the kitchen table because me and my granny would always sit at the kitchen table. And like how y'all listen to me, I used to listen to my granny, and she'd be talking real talk. And even when she was serious, I'd be cracking up because she just had a way with words. And so I always looked at this as sitting at the kitchen table with my granny. So y'all all out there in the atmosphere, I'm just letting y'all know now, I look at y'all as a bunch of grannies, as my granny, because we would sit at the kitchen table and we would talk about everything from current events to trouble that people done got themselves in, to family members. Oh yeah, family members. We used to talk about y'all like a dog too. Granny knew she could talk to me, and I knew I could talk to her. So all y'all family members out there, I'm telling y'all, to y'all ears, from my mouth to y'all ears, it was times me and Granny would throw y'all under the bus and have a good time laughing about it. But in all seriousness, this is the kitchen table. And I want to always be able to talk about what we want to talk about at this kitchen table. So whether you subscribe, whether y'all learn how to do the super chats on YouTube, because I haven't got a super chat yet, but I don't even know how to do it. And I told myself I'm going to explain to y'all about the super chats. It's like a tip. Y'all can tip me $5, $2, $1, $10 while I'm on here. But once I figured out every day, I was supposed to explain that to my YouTube people, but I haven't yet because I get so deep into these stories that I forget about that. So one of these days, maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday, I'm going to explain the super chat, and I'm going to see who gives me the first tip for me losing my lungs and losing my throat for an hour and a half that y'all listen to me. You send me a tip. Y'all tip y'all Uber driver. Y'all tip y'all Uber Eats guy. Y'all ain't gonna tip y'all podcaster. So anyway, Tina Humphrey. Everybody give Tina Humphrey her flowers. Tina Humphrey she spent $50 at the And I Don't Like It store, Shopify, and she got an And I Don't Like It t-shirt. And Tina, I will be getting your order out myself the minute I get off of this podcast. So Tina, thank you so much. And anybody else, I got some new quotables coming out this Friday. These celebrities so quiet, you can hear a cat piss on cotton. Everybody want that shirt. So that comes out. Wow, look at that. Look at Melody. That's what I'm saying, man. Y'all treat me too good. Y'all treat me too good. I said something about super chat, and Melody has sent her my first super chat ever. Y'all know my YouTube. I just became a YouTube partner like last week after all this hard work I've been putting in. So it feels good to get my first ever super chat, $5 super chat, Melody. That makes me feel incredible. Like I said, when you do what I do and you stick your neck out and you telling the truth, and I take a lot of swords in the back, a lot of people are mad at the truth. And so when people like you go out of their way to show me that you appreciate what I do, don't nothing feel better than that. So thank you, Melody, for my first ever super chat. I don't know what to say, but thank you. Tina, yours is on your way. Yours is on your way, and I look forward to getting it out to you. Other than that, y'all, it's been a great show. A lot of real talk. That's what we're gonna do. I opened up Flo's kitchen, cooked Aries Spears' ass, put his ass in the crock pot, put him in the panini grill, seasoned him up, and fried his ass. And that better be the last time I hear him say anything about Cleveland. Because ain't nothing like somebody saying they ain't coming back somewhere where we don't even want your ass. The fuck you gonna tell us you ain't coming back? Well, obviously we didn't laugh at your shit, so obviously we don't want you to come back. So I don't even understand that statement, but there's nothing else for me to say today. Love y'all. Bye. As always, I love each and every one of y'all, but I'm out. Boom, boom, boom. Another one bites the dust. Boom. And another one. And another one bites the dust. Another show down in the books, y'all. Another show. Another show. Let me get Apple, Spotify loaded up real quick. This is the after show. Ask questions, make statements. I'll put it up there. Tell me what y'all think about everything that went on in this show today. I would love to hear it. I've talked for an hour and a half. I would love to hear what y'all got to say for 10 minutes. So yeah, check it out. What y'all think? Give me some statements. Let me see what y'all. I know y'all said some good stuff. Everybody, yeah, y'all always have some. Yeah. So I would like to read that out loud, Sherry. And I like Sherry has a lot of insight on these cases. But she said, just so we're clear, you can't just get a PPO without proof. So she had to have receipts. No judge is going to just willingly grant an order if it won't stand in court. The fact the judge went back on the order is wild, makes no sense. Yep. Agreed. But as we get Spotify loaded, anybody else got anything they want to say that I can read aloud to everybody? Any takes that you may have on the cases that we discussing? Because right now, you already know what I'm doing. I am getting Apple and Spotify together. So let's see. Let's get where is the okay, there it is. And what is today? Today the 23rd. Okay. Good. All right. So Apple and Spotify is loading, y'all. But yeah, this is this news, this sexual assaults and all of this is, was it always like this? Like, am I just being a prisoner of the moment by feeling like in the last year or two, it's been just so many wild cases? I just don't remember it being so many like this back in the day. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe, you know, like I said, I could be being a prisoner of the moment and just feeling like it's like that now. But it just seems like it's just a lot of them, man. It's like, I don't know if that points to the state that we are in as a society. Is it, you know, the new technology that has made it to where people have all kind of evidence now that they didn't have before? I just don't get it. It just don't seem like it was this many before. Okay, Monique, thank you, Monique. Monique, thank you for the tip. $5 tip. That's all. That's a outstanding tip. It's much appreciated. Like I said, I think especially as more of the people who follow me and watch me on YouTube, a lot of people that watch me on YouTube aren't from the YouTube culture. So just like I will be honest, you know, I support podcasters, I subscribe and all of that. I have never did a super chat because I don't know how to do it. So I'm not even blaming anybody, but we're gonna learn so that y'all can, you know, if y'all heart desire, y'all can give me a tip. I can give y'all an extra shout out, Monique, for the tip. I really appreciate it. But we will learn, and like I said, we'll get accustomed to it. Y'all know I don't rush anything. I don't put pressure on anybody for anything. Once maybe tomorrow or something, we'll kind of go into how the super chat work, because I'm not even sure. Matter of fact, Monique or Melody, if y'all have any questions, maybe y'all can hit up Monique or Melody and ask them how the super chats go. But other than that, y'all, I really appreciate it. And this has been a great show. A lot of real talk today. And I appreciate everybody that say they nod their head and they feel like they're talking to me, because that's the whole point. The whole point is to feel like we just having a conversation. And when you do it like that, I just think it makes everybody more comfortable. It makes me more comfortable. It makes you as the listener and the viewer more comfortable. And that's my goal. So, you know, we're talking about a lot of crazy, uncomfortable topics. So to be able to talk to them and like conversationally, it's pretty cool. So anyway, y'all, I don't want to hold too much of y'all time. I am about to get out of here. Thank you so much. Thank you for the likes. Hey, maybe before I get out of here, can we make sure we got all the likes? Thank you, Kobe. Kobe always in the building. C Tuck in the building. Let me shout out who I can see before I get out of here. You know, I always got to shout out my people. Y'all always support me. See clearly. Thank you. My boy Darnell. Susan Kerr. Lauren Clifford. What's up, Laura? Nadreema, I missed you. What up? She said she slept in this morning, but hey, I'm glad you got some sleep, Nadreema. You work hard as hell. I already said, Melody, you are always a great supporter. Nana Boo, of course, Monique, my first ever YouTube member. Sherry said some great things today. If I missed you and shouting you out, I'm sorry. Hey, Leslie. Thank you for joining me this morning, keeping me company as I record this podcast episode. Anybody else, I'm sorry if I missed you, but I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Prayers to everybody involved in the Shannon Sharpe situation on both sides, the victim and the alleged victim and the plaintiff, Shannon Sharpe, and all of that. Prayers to everybody. I just hope it works out for the best for everybody involved. I will continue to cover it. But as always, much love to y'all. Thank y'all. And I'm out again.